Hello, welcome to Long Island Weather Updates, 10 o'clock on July the 5th, 2024. An absolutely brutally humid day across the area. Definitely seemed a little hotter, too, here. Definitely more sunshine as well. And you can see here on the, got the satellite with the lightning, and you can see here that there were some storms to the north and the west. And they even threatened our area, but fell apart, and all we had was some downpours, showers. But very, very humid conditions across the area. It really is. So let's look at Turley. We'll first start off with the radar, and you'll see there's not really a whole lot left. We got a few cells here over Monmouth County, one over the Long Island Sound, and pretty decent activity in Connecticut still. But for the most part, from what we had earlier, it kind of has weakened substantially. Let's look at our current conditions outside. You can see temperatures are in the mid-70s, low to mid-70s across the area. Even on the South Shore, saying 74. Even at this buoy, 72 degrees. The dew point is 72. And the water temperature is actually down to 68 over there. I'm kind of surprised that it's that low. Let's check this one here. The water temperature at this buoy here, 20 miles south of, I think it's like 25 miles south of Fire Island. Temperature 74, dew point 74, south wind at 20, gusting 25, and the water temperature's up to 73 over there. I'm surprised it's not warmer than that. But you can see temperatures still pretty warm, 75 out there with the dew point of 73. So yeah, the dew points are very high. I put them on the screen, you'll see. We've got dew points generally in the mid-70s, very humid out there, very high humidity levels, and there's a heat advisory in effect for New Jersey. It was a lot hotter in Jersey today. Once again, that's why they got that heat advisory. So let's go look at the high temperatures today, and you'll see that Long Island generally probably was in the low to mid-80s. As soon as we get this to load here. Yeah, low to mid-80s pretty much across Long Island, but when you go into New Jersey, take a look at Toms River. Got up to 95 there today. Brutal. Even hotter than Newark. Toms River, the hot spot today. But it is showing some upper 80s. And I do believe we were in the mid to upper 80s today across central and western Nassau. I don't think we hit 90, but I think mid to upper 80s was definitely a fair bet across the area. Because definitely it was more of a southwesterly wind today versus a southerly wind, and we had more sun, which got us warmer than that. 82 at Islip, much better over there. 90 in Central Park, 83 at JFK for a high, and if you were on the South Shore there in Bellport, 75 was your high. That's very, very nice. So let's look at our lows. Lows generally low 70s across the area, low 70s. For lows, yeah, not really dropping all that much across the area. Not really at all. Yeah, mid-70s, low 70s. Not really dropping all that much either. So I'll show you first what the day was like at Islip. We'll go from one extreme to the other. So you'll see 75, and the dew points were up there pretty much in the 70s all day. Oh, they had some clouds, broken skies. That's interesting. So they must have had some of those scud clouds over the area, because we had actually fairly sunny conditions here in Nassau County this afternoon. If we look at Farmingdale, maybe you'll see that probably less in the way of clouds. Let's see. They didn't have as many clouds at Farmingdale. And still not all that bad there, though. Unfortunately, here in Mineola, it was a lot hotter than that. But if you want to go to the other extreme, could be in Toms River, where it was absolutely brutal, and the heat indexes were actually through the roof today. So it hit 95, and you see here 90s. Look at these dew points. Oh my God, Miller Air Park, dew points almost near 80 degrees. Oh, so that means it felt like 110. If you were in Toms River today. That is absolutely oppressive. And all this, and they managed to get a new wildfire to start. We'll have to talk about that too, in the Pine Barrens there. But those dew points are unbelievable. I mean, that's just atrocious right there. That's, it was a rarity when I was young to see dew points in the mid-70s. Now it's common. Now we're seeing dew points approaching 80 degrees. That is just unbelievably bad. Let's see if we can find Belmore Farmingdale. Let's see. All right, so it was not quite as hot at Belmore Farmingdale, 90 degrees, but Let's see how bad those dew points got there. Yeah, look at that. 79-degree dew points at times. But look at this. The dew point dropped to 63. What is causing all these dew point variations? Very weird. That may have been due to some thunderstorm activity, perhaps, nearby. So that might have helped people further north. They did not see that further south at all. Yeah, and Miller Air Park might have actually... I got to go back to Miller Air Park because they might have been reporting... Let's see if they had any of that smoke from that wildfire. I don't see any of the smoke. All right, there was some slight, haze. Here you go. So they were reporting some smoke as well from those fires that were going on in further south in Wharton State Forest. I think that's right over here. Yeah, look at that. Still, even at this hour, 85 degrees in Voorhees, 88 in Philadelphia after hitting... Now, Philadelphia got up to 97 today. Oh, my God. I'm surprised they don't have a excessive heat warning because, again, you combine it with those dew points, and it feels like the hundreds. So, yeah, that's just brutal right there. That's just brutal. Brutal. That's all I got to say. So if you were in Jersey, you really had a really hot day. But, of course, the heat is throughout. You can see the heat advisories going throughout, and then the West, again, numerous red flag warnings, excessive heat warnings, and that 120 in Needles. Again, Needles not the place you want to be. It only got down to 86 there, too, by the way. Oh, my gosh, that's hot. I mean, all right, not unusual for southwestern California, but the northern part of California, that is unusual to see that kind of heat. Going in Oregon, I mean, 108 at Montague. I mean, granted, the dew point's 31, but it's a drier heat. It's right down to the coast this time. Well, San Francisco is still cool, but depending on what part of the bay you were on. Like, San Francisco is cool, but Oakland was roasting at 98. So, and you got 90s all the way through here. This heat is going to be with California for a while here. And this goes into Oregon, too. Unbelievable. So now we're in Oregon. You can see we got hundreds, too. 108, Buckeye. 105 at Grandad. Just really oppressive heat. And Lou, you got to be right, even right on the coast. It still got hot, 89. So, yeah, even right on the coast. So the sea breeze not really doing a whole lot. Not really doing a whole lot at all. At the Dalles, 99. They got up to 106 today. Yeah, that's just really, really oppressive heat. Yeah, and that's why you see all these excessive heat warnings throughout the West. And we've got a hurricane watch for the coast of Texas. And that is where we'll go next. Let's take a look at Beryl. And let's get the latest. It's a tropical storm. It's weakened after crossing the Yucatan. But it's going to become another hurricane again, and I think it's going to be a strong one. They're just saying it's going to be a Category 1. I think it's going to be a little stronger than that, personally. Center of Beryl about to emerge over the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane and storm surge watches in effect for portions of the coast of northeastern Mexico and Texas. As of 7 p.m., its location 21.3 north, 89.7 west. It's pretty much right on top of Progreso, Mexico, and about 580 miles east-southeast of Brownsville, Texas. And it's still a pretty strong tropical storm. 65-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Moving west-northwest at 15 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 994 millibars, 29.35 inches. And the storm itself isn't that large, though. The extent of tropical storm force winds extend out up to 105 miles from the center. But that could, of course, again, become larger. And when we look at our cone here, you'll see that the path has now shifted to the north. And now Texas, a large part of the Texas coast is now being threatened by this. They don't have it becoming a hurricane until 1 p.m. Sunday. No, I think by tomorrow night, I think we're going to be talking about Hurricane Beryl again. All right, I think that they're underestimating this. All right, let's go and take a look at some of the satellite imagery from Beryl. So we'll change this here. We'll take a look at Beryl. Looks pretty healthy to me. All right, the visible looks healthy, but you still see. Look at all these convection blow-ups ready Once it gets out of the Gulf, that wood is pretty warm. It's going to just take off like a rocket. I'm telling you, it is. It really is. So we will watch this. I think we're going to be talking about Hurricane Beryl by the time I do this weather update tomorrow night. I think it'll be Category 1 hurricane. And I think it could landfall as a Category 3. That's my prediction at this point. All right, I think they're underestimating it. Because the models always underestimate how big these storms are because they just can't feed the information in fast enough as to how warm these sea surface temperatures are. Let's go look at earthnullschool.net. All right, and we'll return to the satellite, but I just want to show you what the water temperatures are in the Gulf that we're working with right now. So sea surface temperature anomaly above normal. See that. Sea surface temperatures are 83. All right, where I'm clicking there, 83. Plenty of 80s. Very warm conditions. So it won't have a problem at all. All right. Let me get this back to the satellite if I can. So let's go to the CONUS view here. So you'll see what we got, all the players. Here's Beryl. Here's like a little weak dry front here coming through. I call it a dry front because the air behind this isn't all that cool. And yeah, it looks a little smoky out west. You can see here definitely some smoke over California and over the Pacific Northwest. We're going to have a lot of wildfires breaking out in that area with the hot, dry conditions continuing without really a break. Looking at the weather map here, you'll see there's your weak front right there. You got a little areas of low pressure over here. Tropical storm Beryl. We go to day 2. That front gets a little closer to our area, which could be a trigger for showers and thunderstorms. Day 3, that front kind of just washes out over our area, and you see they have it becoming a hurricane again by day 3. I think again by tomorrow night, I think it'll be a hurricane again. And the issue is rainfall. So when we go with rainfall, you'll see the west is going to stay fairly dry. And this, we'll go through the day 1 through 7. You'll see for our area, it looks like at least we'll have some hope for some rain. But you see the west, there's no rain at all. So we're going to see a lot of bad wildfires out in the west again. And you can see wherever Beryl tracks, you can see they could be getting plenty of rain over there, perhaps 6 inches or more of rain. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center next. Not really a whole lot here. Day 1, day 2, we've got the slight risk in the Midwest. Day 3, a slight risk again in the Midwest. So not really too. We're not really looking at any really big severe weather outbreaks at all. So let's go and look at the models next, and we'll take a look, show you what we have. So you see we've got Beryl there that's going to be re-strengthening and making a landfall. Look like around Brownsville, but it keeps shifting to the north. I'll just show you the runs here. It's the 12Z. And each run shifts a little more to the north, and it's stronger because it's spending more time out over the water. And that's going to mean more strength. So let's... And you'll see our area. We still... And I'm just going to run this through just to give you... I'm not really going to go too much in the long range, but you see we got the ridge. That ridge really isn't going anywhere. And you can see there's a ridge basically in the off the southeast coast and a ridge in the west as well. With just a little weak troughing in the upper Great Lakes area. So with that, it means the coast is going to be above normal, and you know, we're not really going to have any really major relief from the heat or the humidity. We'll have a little bit of a break from the humidity Sunday and Monday. So let's go and look at northeast here, and we'll go to the latest HRRR, which hopefully I have the whole 0Z HRRR and a look at here as far as the thunderstorm activity. I actually did a decent job tonight with it. It's got a little bit more in the morning perhaps, and then tomorrow you can see it's got a couple of pop-ups, maybe a pop-up in the late afternoon. Looks like it's oddly enough putting it over the south shore. Perhaps the sea breeze front gets triggered, and then maybe another little bit, but nothing really all that impressive or widespread because we don't. This front that's coming through is very weak, and it's barely moving, and it's just going to wash out over our area. And you'll see that when we look at the dew points and wind flow. So dew points stay pretty high tomorrow. All right, mid-70-degree dew points. It's going to be another very warm and humid day and a hot and humid day if you're inland in New Jersey. And you can see the dry air off to the west tries to get in here Sunday. But you see it struggles. And the HRRR doesn't really even have this front even making it through. So if you want the dry air, you may have to go all the way to Pennsylvania. We're not seeing that much relief. And with more of a westerly wind on Sunday, it's going to be hotter on Long Island. So that's what it looks like on the HRRR. We can look at the temperatures as well. And you can see it's going to see the pinks and the bright reds in Jersey. Mid to upper 90s possible in New Jersey tomorrow, whereas Long Island will probably be mid to upper 80s. The city will probably be around 90. And then for tomorrow night, not cooling down much. And then Sunday, it's going to be another real hot one again. Jersey, but the misery from Jersey is now going to start spreading across the city into Nassau County, whereas I think we have a shot at seeing 90s on Sunday, perhaps. It's a lot of warm air that you got around. So let's look at our I don't want to forget this. I have to do the statistics at the end of this weather update. I'll save it to the end. The statistics for today. Also for the HRRR looks like. Let's go to the NAM model and look at the NAM for tomorrow night as far as storms go. So you can see the NAM is actually being a lot more aggressive with this little area of thunderstorm activity in the morning tomorrow. I don't know if I'm buying that. This is as we got out to zero, but you can see it's not really showing much because there isn't really much of a mechanism. This front isn't moving very much. It's washing out. It's kind of just dissipating. It's losing its definition. And the trigger for any widespread thunderstorm activity is not there. What you will see is the pop-up variety that we're going to have tomorrow. I think that's pretty much what the models seem to be showing right now. Let's look at the GFS with dew points, and you'll see what I mean. So, yeah, this front really, it just washes out. It just dissipates. So it's not really going to be, it'll be marginally better Sunday. Lowest dew points west of the city. It's going to be hotter everywhere because that southwest wind. And then Monday we see a little bit more relief in the dew points. You still see we got the southwest wind. And then the dew points come right back on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you can see stall front syndrome, it looks like. The front tries to get in. Originally, the models were showing this front coming through, but it's just going to get stalled out over us. And you can see we pretty much stay in the humidity. There's no real end. I'm running this all the way through. And you can see, look at this dew point pooling that we have, running this all through the month here. I mean, I'll talk more about the long range, but I'm just showing you that we have plenty of heat to come here. So you see there isn't really any relief. Now, maybe Tuesday we see the temperatures a little lower. And then Thursday we could be dealing with a stall front situation. That might keep us cooler, but with rain chances. And then after that, we're back out into the heat again. Yep, back into the heat. At least this is not... Yeah, and as we get toward the end of the period, it keeps showing a really major heat wave as we get toward the latter part of July, where 100 degrees could be likely. It did back off, but I'm just going to show you last night's run of this. So you can see all the heat that it was showing in the long range. This is just the long range toward the middle of the month. Look at that. This is toward the middle of the month, July 18th here. So showing a lot of heat. So no real cool downs as far as that goes. Skies, well, with this kind of pattern, I don't think we're going to see too much too much clear skies. So I'll start with the GFS here, the cloud cover. Obviously, there'll be cloud cover tomorrow, but there'll be some sun. You can see here, yeah, it tries to clear off to the west, but whether we get into that or not is another story. And then you can see playing with stall front syndrome, perhaps. So it does try to bring it through, push that front through to the south, at least. That's the old run. My mistake. Knew that wasn't right. So you can see what it's doing. It's trying to stall that front out a little bit. So we'll have maybe dealing with some stall front syndrome for the rest of the week. But I talk more about the long range Sunday night. But I just wanted to let everybody know that if you're wanting any cool weather, I just don't see it. Unfortunately, it's going to be hot. They said it's going to be a hot summer, and sure enough, that's living up to what it's going to be. So let's look at the RGEM here for a moment for tomorrow, and you'll see, again, there'll be some sun. We're missing data here. All right, we got some of Saturday. You got most of it. So it is showing a good deal of clouds around. Hazy sunshine, and then for Sunday, more sunshine for Sunday, but it's gonna still be hot, and it won't be all that pretty. And then Monday, maybe we get a little more sun, but you'll see here the fog offshore indicates humidity. So it indicates we're going to be dealing with humid conditions again. All right. So humidity isn't going anywhere, unfortunately. It's not really any real relief that we're going to have. I'll just go to Vent to Sky. We'll look at the Cape levels again. Then I'll show you some pictures from today. I have a video of the storms as well. And, I was getting my hopes up that there was going to be a good storm, but you could see, tomorrow you could see the heat over Jersey there. Long Island definitely doing better with that. Sunday, though, the heat is more spread out because of the more westerly wind that we're going to have. Thunderstorm, there is decent Cape off to the northwest, so don't be surprised if there's an isolated severe thunderstorm, mainly inland because that's where the heat is, but you never know. We might see something over our area, perhaps. So let me go to power outage. I just want to see if those storms knocked down any power in New Jersey, and they did not. Only 819 people without power. There are a few more in upstate New York got affected by storms. California is having issues with the power grid, threatening transmission alert. Obviously, they have a lot of strain. So California, really, the people got to conserve energy there because if there are enough transmission lines that fail, could be a large-scale blackout there. We're also seeing a lot of power outages in Oregon, too, as well. Probably related to the heat and or fires. So, yeah, not a good situation at all out west with that. So, lastly, we'll go to the statistics for today. And a high was 82 today. A low was 72. At Islip, and that puts us 3 degrees above normal for the day. Central Park at a high of 90 and a low of 74, 5 degrees above normal for the day. So one more check of the radar, and let's see what we got going on. Actually, is one cell that just popped up here, right there, right over. It looks like Southeast Nassau, Farmingdale, perhaps getting in. Farmingdale, Bethpage. There are a couple of cells out there, some in Connecticut too as well, but I don't think these are producing much lightning. So let's go ahead and take a look. It's just showers for Long Island. Some of there are some thunderstorms over Connecticut though. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow night. It looks like I see mist being reported at central parts of just very, very humid. Also, air quality alert in effect for much of New York and New Jersey. Not Long Island, however. So at least we escaped that. But, again, best place to be is the South Shore. So, I'll just show you some pictures of what the sky looked like today here, and you'll see. We did have some cumulonimbus. You'll see in the video, though, I did take a video of it, of some of the storms there threatening us in Rockville Center. Actually, was a shelf. You can see a shelf trying to form, but it kind of just broke up. So, unfortunately, we really didn't get hit by a thunderstorm. But maybe tomorrow we'll have better luck. Maybe. Anyway, have a good night.